Hello and welcome to Little Red Ranger. Now, I'm gonna read the warning thing to you guys. Sorry, I had to build it up. I'm gonna read the warning thing to you guys just so you guys know. This game contains animal violence and depiction of violence. Viewer discretion is advised, just so y'all know. So, I don't want to hear no, oh my god, a little bunny passed away. I don't know if the little bunny passed away, but there is a little bunny up here with a little adorable red coat. But we're going to get into this story. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And if not, I hope I made your day a little bit better. Welcome to Meadowvale. Or at least, that's what I'd like to tell you. Maybe Meadowvale hasn't been so welcoming as of late. Oh, Clover! Okay, look at her. Oh, she's adorable. Oh, I gotta give her a little bunny voice. Oh, wait, what kind of bunny voice would I give her? My name is Clover. I'm a park ranger for the town. That means anything outside of Sable Woods is usually not my business. The last few weeks have made everything my business. You see, folks have been disappearing. Oh no, that's so sad. Innocent folks too, like Coda, our local lumberjack with the gruffest face but a heart of gold. Once, he brought me a small, wounded bird and asked how to help it. I've never forgotten how proud he looked the day it flew again. Aww. We're not sure when or where Coda disappeared, only that he never came home again. Next, he went missing on the edge of town, right out of her very own library. Calliope was sweet, immeasurably kind, and so knowledgeable that sometimes her understanding of Sable Woods surpassed my own. The worst you could say about her was that she was shy and, well, maybe a little clumsy. Maybe. She looks a little clumsy. I used to get all my wildlife glossaries from Callie. The library has been shuttered ever since Mayor Gizmo and the local peacekeepers found a rare-facing window shuttered from the outside in. I miss her. Oh, this is so sad already. I hope it has a happy ending. The last to disappear was a local artist, a young man by the name of Linder. Linder was almost as shy as Callie, right up until he got his big idea. I don't know where his latest creative burst took him, but he'd never been gone from home more than 2 days before this. It's strange, walking through town square and finding it empty. He always liked to paint there. I've trusted the local peacekeepers so far to investigate the string of disappearances, but nobody's come up with anything yet. Mayor Gizmo has asked to meet with me today to discuss the missing folk, presumably to help solve the case. But I just hope I know what I'm getting into. Oh, here we go. Oh man, it's just so sad that they're just missing and gone, and I feel like this is kind of taking like a Little Red Riding Hood kind of approach. So we might already know who the person who's doing all this is. But again, I don't want to assume nothing. I don't know nothing about this except for what I read like on the little page. And again, if you guys want to play games like this, you guys go to each.io, or I'll put the information in the description box below, just so you guys can get to games like this and stuff, because these are amazing. And they don't just have visual novels. For love of goodness, like there are people are saying like, oh, I don't go to that website because it's just visual novels. There are a lot of indie games in this day and age that we play now that are big and famous that started on that website, excuse me, that program. Well, I mean, they have an app, but I mean, still, yeah. So go show your love and support, okay? You never know who the next big, thing that takes off is. I arrived at town without issues. For a few moments, it is painfully empty, devoted of both townfolks and Mayor Gizmo himself. It's hard to keep the lonely landscape from getting to me. Meadowvale used to be a bustling town, but now everyone is too scared to come out of their homes. Ah, Clover. I don't know what he looks like yet. Ah, Clover, just the rabbit I was looking for. The mayor runs for me, chest heaving with each panting breath by the time he arrives. I give him a few moments to recover. You want to see me, Mayor? What can I help with? Yes, we can dispense with the formalities. Mayor Gizmo gives a wry chuckle that makes my skin itch. Well, you and I, that is, know something is wrong, don't we? The mayor tugs on his ears with a nervous expression. Do you mean the disappearances? The mayor gives the same chuckle as before. I tuck my paws into my jacket pockets. Why, yes, of course. What else would there be to talk about? His odd chuckle turns into an outright bark of nervous laughter, though he recovers himself quickly. My peacekeepers, you see, they haven't been able to find anything. I thought maybe with the latest you could look. You want me, a little bitty itty bitty adorable rabbit, to walk into where? To look for what? Mayor, Mr. Gizmo, come on. I tilt my head to one side, my ears flopping along with the motion. With what latest? What do you mean, Mayor? Well, you see, Mayor Gizmo clears his throat and straightens his posture as if trying to compose himself before continuing. It is a bit of an unusual circumstance, even considering. Not only do we have location of the latest disappearance, we also have a witness. Okay, that's good. Maybe this one? Where was the victim seen last? Mayor Gizmo shrugs uncomfortably, his eyes looking anywhere but at me. In the woods, Clover, in Sable Woods, near the old mine. Okay, we got a location. That's good. That's close. And I didn't know? Yes, well, perhaps you could investigate there for me. We need answers, Clover. Yes, of course. That's the last one. Where can I find the person who saw the latest disappearance? Old Bjorn? Well, he's probably out at the pier at this time of day. You know where that is, don't you? Could you remind me? South of Meadowvale, right at the edge of the lake. Is that all the questions then? For now, Mayor. I'll come back here if I find anything. Right. Well, there's one more thing I should, Mayor Gizmo thrusts something forward for me to take. Here. Is that a knife? Yes, for protection, just in case you need it. I'm gonna take the knife, of course. He's trying to protect me. Be safe. Can't have anyone else going missing after all. Right. You can expect me back with a report by tomorrow morning. The mayor posts up in front of me. He looks like he's trying to seem confident. Then I shall be looking forward to that. His lack of confidence weighs on me. Yeah, nice try, Mayor. We know you're just as scared as I am. Where should I head first? Let's see. I guess we'll go to south of Meadowvale because we need to talk to old Bjorn. And maybe we can get like a general idea of what we're looking for. Again, I don't want to assume nothing, but we don't know what we're looking for at all. I make my way to south of town, where a large lake takes up a significant chunk of the horizon. At the end of the lake path is a massive dock and pier, though it, like the town, is empty of usual activity. It takes a few minutes for me to spot old Bjorn, despite his massive hulking size. The bear sits at the end of the long pier, a fishing pole between its paws. I call out to him without thinking. Bjorn, may I speak with you? What the? There's a crack as Bjorn's fishing line, which apparently had a bite still wiggling on it, snapped in half. Bjorn gives a quiet curse and sets his rod aside before he turns to me with a heavy sigh. Some people be taking fishing so seriously. You don't want to mess up somebody in a catch. If you mess up someone's catch, boy, And I've never been fishing myself. I would like to go, but I'm so scared that I might accidentally hook myself or hook someone. And oh man, working as a nurse, someone came in with one of those hooks that tore their jaw apart. Never. That's what scares me the most. To my surprise, he then smiles. Clover the Ranger, what can I do you for? Bjorn pats the space beside him on the pier, so I join him, dipping my bare foot paws into the water. He joins me and soon we have small fish nibbling on our toes. For a few moments, it's easy to forget everything else is going on. For a moment, it's just me, Bjorn, and some little cute fish. Then the moment passed. Mayor Gizmo informed me that you saw the latest disappearance happen. Bjorn shudders and pulls his feet back out of the water, his gaze drifting off in the direction of Sable Woods. That I did, Clover. That I did. It's not an experience I'd like to relive. I understand, Bjorn. I pat his paw reassuringly. You know I wouldn't ask for this if there was any other option, but you need to know what I saw. Please? Bjorn gives a heavy sigh, bowing his head. I suppose it's only right after what happened to those poor folk. I saw a huge monster with claws the size of kitchen knives and glowing white eyes. It dragged them off, kicking and screaming. There was nothing I could do, nothing anyone could do. Bjorn stares off across the lake, something clearly burdened him still. I'll pick this one. All right, I'll tell you. Bjorn turns back towards me, still frowning, but now with a twinkle in his eye that I can't quite place. My pappy used to tell me stories. Stories young folks don't like to hear anymore, even though they're important stories. I frowned for a moment, but pressed on. Sure, this has something to do with the case at hand. What kind of stories did he tell you? Stories about the woods, stories about the land we live on, stories of what came before. Bjorn turned to me, a very serious expression on his face. You know we animals haven't always been rulers of this world, right? I find myself entranced by the intensity. Of course. We don't know what came before, though. You may not know, but I do. Pappy did, too. I don't respond this time, hoping my silence would encourage him more than my confusion. Yeah, that would confuse me a little bit, too. But he must be getting at something important. I can feel it. Bjorn turns away and huffs. Before the animals were the spirits. Spirits of all kinds, of wind and the trees and the grass and the waves. Used to be there was a spirit of the woods living right over there in your Sable Woods. Was? Some say still is. The thing to know about spirits, though, is that they were varied as animal folk are, and that one was no soft cookie. Bjorn, you don't really mean to tell me a spirit lives in Sable Woods, do you? You don't really think that that's the cause of the disappearances? Bjorn doesn't look at me for a moment, but digs around in his jacket pocket instead. After several tense seconds, he pulls out a small folded piece of paper bound to a strip of twine. From the twine hangs a charm that looks something like wind, maybe? If you get into a tight spot, look at that paper. Think of something special to you, something as Pappy's charm is to me, and ask the spirits for their help. It might just be what saves you. I pocket the paper, charm, and all. Bjorn has taken to looking out to the lake again. He doesn't move as I stand up to leave. Be safe, little Clover. If not for you, then for all we've lost. Be safe. I will, Bjorn. Time to see where it all happened. So, Bjorn thinks that it is a spirit that's murdering. We're not going to say murder. That is harming townfolk or animal folk, excuse me. And I'm inclined to listen to Bjorn because they say that older people, they don't have knowledge. And while yes, that is true, it is not always wrong. Everything my grandma said before she passed away has came true. Absolutely everything she has said. I need a drink of water. 1 second, you guys. Yeah, okay, that's better. My throat feels a little bit better, and my voice cleared up a little bit. But yeah, everything that my mom and my grandma has said, I promise you, has came true. I don't know how to explain it, but it has. So I mean, listen to your elders sometimes, not all the time. Some of them are kind of not right all the time. To the southwest of Meadowvale, just a little ways past my own home, lies a massive patch of trees, the one and only Sablewoods. It doesn't take me long to track down the site of the latest disappearance, the mine entrance. It feels cold, even for this time of year, but just here in the clearing. My breath comes out as a thick fog, which I try to wave away. I begin chittering quietly, involuntarily, and I wring my paws together. Maybe Bjorn was onto something. Something's not quite right about this place. There's a clear sign that something happened here recently, judging by the paw marks on the trees and the footprints over there. I forgot to mention, forgive me, I forgot to mention there are 4 endings. I'm going to try to get them all. Where to start? Let's go with the claw marks. These claw marks are huge. They almost look like cuts from an axe, but they're far too rough. I hope whatever made them isn't still around. Okay. There are footprints around. Some of them are normal, but the others are big. There seems to be a path of drag marks in the dirt that leads into the mines, and blood? That can't be right. I shudder at the sight and glance around. The sky darkens a tick as the sun droops further below the horizon. Oh man, I don't think you want to be out here, poor little little Clover, when it gets dark. That's probably when it will happen, and that's the scary part. I gather what information I can. There's only one place left to look. Time to check out the mine itself. Alright, hold our hands. We're gonna hold Clover's hands, and y'all gonna hold my hand, because y'all know if I see something or hear something bad, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. The drag marks carry on briefly into the darkness of the cave, and I withdraw my flashlight from my jacket pocket as I enter. It clicks on to reveal dark red-brown trails on the floor. My ears flatten out against my head, but I shake off the feeling and carry on. The distant hums of the wilderness fades and is overtaken by my own echoing footfalls, and I can feel the absence weighing heavily on my shoulders. There are more claw marks up ahead, leading around the bend in the path of the cave. Unused mining equipment lies scattered to and fro, mostly lanterns with shattered bulbs and picks with broken handles. There is an odd lack of cobwebs and dust, though, as if the mine has been trodden. I reach the corner and place my shaking paw gently on the claw marks, then peek around into the darkness. There's a shape in the shadows that seem to defy the light of my weak flashlight, seems to ward it off. The shape is breathing. Uh-oh. I mean, we can creep up on it slowly, but oh man, this is gonna be hard. Let's go. I put my hand over the flashlight, dimming it just enough to hide myself, and I take a few careful steps closer to the beast. I can see it rising and falling now, the slight sheen on its fur. As I ponder what it could be, something crackled noisily beneath my feet. I don't glance down at it, but I can see other bones scattered throughout the space. The creature suddenly rises and whips around. It's a huge thing, a mass of mangy black fur with glowing white eyes and claws the size of kitchen knives. Oh no! Oh, he's gonna get me good. It rushes towards me like a spar of snarling, filthy obsidian, covered what ground stood between us in a blink of an eye. Oh no! Oh no! I hope this is not a if you click them in the wrong order, you die type of thing. But I'm sure one of the endings will be our little bitty Clover here perishes. So I'm gonna dodge first. I dart away, leading with my shoulder as a few ivory talons pass through the space above me. The foot lands on a collection of dry, crackling bones, and I stumble into a wall. Oh no, the beast readies another attack. I guess we can hide this time. I point my flashlight directly into the creature's eyes and then abruptly shut it off. I move through the darkness by memory until a discarded barrel stands between me and where I last saw the monster. The barrel shudders behind me, torn apart by the force of a single blow. I drive away and turn my flashlight back on as the beast prepares for another attack. Oh, we only can fight. Oh, I hope little Clover is okay. I pull the knife from my pocket and flick it open, flailing wildly through the darkness. I feel it connect a few times with the knife, though in its wild attack, it seems to do most of the damage itself. It catches me once with a sweep of its claws and dart away. By the time I turn around, the beast is licking its wounds and preparing to strike again. In all the commotion, the movement, the tussle, I find myself backing into a corner. The monster walks a half circle around me, glaring furiously with its gleaming eyes, its jaws dripping. It scrapes the ground with its claws and growls, but the movement of its leg is weak. Its growl poorly concealed a whimper. Now's my chance, and possibly my only one. Oh no! Use the pocket knife, pull Bjorn's charm, or speak to the spirits. Oh no, I know, like I don't think Clover can take him. I'm gonna be honest, Lil B Bunny, Big Wolf, I don't think she can take him if I use the pocket knife. Yes, she's studying him and she realizes that his stance is weak, his leg is weak and stuff, and he's not moving as fast as he possibly could. But I don't think that poor little Clover can take him. I don't want to fight. I think I'm gonna call to speak to the spirit. Speak to the spirit. Or the charm. Oh God. I'm gonna do the charm this time, okay? And because there's 4 endings anyway, so we have to get all 4. So I'm gonna do the charm. The beast suddenly charges towards me, and my hand flies to my pocket on reaction. I reach in and withdraw Bjorn's charm and a slip of paper that carries it, raising it up like a shield towards the monster now bearing down upon me. It freezes in place, stock still, waiting. My heart is thumping wildly in my chest, but my breathing is still somehow under control. I unfold the sheet of paper and stare it down. It blinks. I stare at it for a moment, dumbfounded and desperate. Then the charm begins to glow. First like a star, then the moon, then the sun, brighter and brighter until there's nothing to see besides the light. I can hear distant sounds and feel distant auras, separated from me by time and by space, but not memory. I hear an axe chopping firewood in the crisp autumn air. Oh no, we're seeing the ones that passed on. I can hear a rough brush on canvas and quiet, contemplative noises. I can hear shifting paper and feel the warmth of a hand on my own. I can hear the whimpering of a quiet, lonely creature. Its stomach is empty and its wounds go unintended, for the seasons wrapped it up in moisture and mud. It's afraid. I reach out my hand and everything fades. Curled in a shivering heap before me is a small wolf pup. Oh, its fur is matted and its eyes closed in fear. The air around me is still bright with the white energy from before. hurling around as it dissipates. Before it fades entirely, a voice that seems to call out from everywhere and nowhere at once, echoing and circling around me, the whispers, "Thank you." Oh, so maybe they were right about the spirits and stuff, and maybe that this poor little innocent puppy was possessed by a very, very bad energy spirit or whatever. Like whatever you want to call it, but it was possessed by a spirit, and now it's not anymore. So we can, I guess, live peacefully, but will people accept this pup? That's the problem, is that if you come out of the woods and say this is what murdered our townfolk, but it should be fine. It should be fine now. He was possessed and now he's not possessed. Will they still accept him? Because all they're gonna think about is like he murdered people. I look around, unsure of exact source of the noise. The whimpering of the pup pulls my attention to it, and I take small steps over. It looks up at me, pulling its ears back and recoiling. "There, there, little one." I coo, kneeling down and gently extending a paw to it. The pup sniffs it hesitantly for a moment before it begins to lick my paw. I chuckle and then scoop the mass of fur up, wrapping it in my arms. "I don't think I even know half of what you went through. I think I speak for all Meadowvale when I say I'm happy to give you a second chance." Aww, and in purification. Let's go get another one, you guys. So we're back here. I'm gonna go ahead and click. I don't think it's all gloom and doom and gloom, excuse me. Whatever is going on, I'll get to the bottom of it. Even though I don't feel like that puts any hope in anybody, because we're a whittle rabbit. Don't say you weren't warned. There are things out there that folks like us can barely fathom. Stay safe. Bjorn waves me off half-heartedly and turns away again. I will, Bjorn. Time to see where it all happened. So we're going back to the thing. If something pops up that we haven't seen, I'll let you know. So instead of creeping up on it, on the shadowy figure, I'm going to call out to the shadowy figure. I point my flashlight towards the floor in order to avoid blinding whatever the thing is. The light bounces off a collection of bright ivory white objects scattered on the floor of the space. I try not to stare at them for long. Hello? Are you okay? Are you from Meadowvale? The creature suddenly rises and whips around. It's a huge thing, a mass of mangy black fur with glowing white eyes and claws the size of kitchen knives. So this is all the same. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so while I am gonna skip this, I'm gonna show you guys I'm gonna do it differently. So I'm gonna fight, I think. Yeah, pull the knife out of my pocket and flick it open, flailing it wildly in the darkness, excuse me. So then I'm gonna hide, just in case it's, different. That's all. And then I'm gonna dodge. And if it was different, it would stop me, and like most of them. Dart away, leading with my shoulder as a few ivory talons pass the space above me. Okay, if something new comes up, you already know. So this time, I did not bring Bjorn's charm, only because I didn't speak to Bjorn about the charm. Remember, at the pier, you have to talk to him and let him tell you the story or whatever, and then he'll give you the charm. I didn't get the charm this time. This time, I'm gonna try to fight back, even though I feel like Clover just can't handle it. I'm so sad if something bad happens to Clover. The beast suddenly charges towards me, and my hands fly to my pockets on reaction. I withdraw the pocket knife in a flash and unfold its blade once again. Even in the dimness, I catch the sheen on its soiled surface in the light of my flashlight, dashing through the air this way and that. The beast is weakened, and it is slowed, and the grace and ferocity it had demonstrated earlier is gone. My heart aches as its growls are reduced to whimpering and whines, cut fur and thick blood sticking to my hand and arm as the melee goes on. Oh, so she's fighting so hard. It lunges for a final blow, jaw wide and eyes fading, but it never lands. The creature slumps against me instead, knocking my battered form to the ground in a heap, sending my ill-suited weapon clattering to the floor. It's done. The ground is cold, my body is spent, and my mind fragments and spirals off, but it is done. And execution. Oh, that one was bad too. So this time I'm gonna go near old Sablewood Mines, excuse me, instead of just heading to Bjorn first and see what happens. To the southwest of Meadowvale, just a little past my own home, lies a massive patch of trees. So if something else comes up different, I will show you guys. So this is different. Now we have a new option that says the claw marks at the site line up with his story, because remember we went to the site first before we talked to Bjorn. So now that we talked to Bjorn now and he's described the claw marks exactly how we described them, now we know that that's an actual thing. There were drag marks at the site as well. I think you really know what you saw, Bjorn. Bjorn doesn't respond right away. He seems to be worrying deeply about something, lost in thought. Okay, so this is all the same. You know, you seem like you want to say more, and he's going to give me the charm. I'm going to take the charm regardless because I'm talking to him, but we'll get back to the fight. So the only thing we haven't done is to speak with the spirit. I think it's time for us to speak with the spirit. Before the beast can charge at me, I raise my hand. It stops in place and stares at me, and I put on a brave face, though it feels as though my heart wants to hop out of my chest and go for a run. Are you okay? Are you sure you want to do this? The creature stares at me. Its glowing eyes seem to pulse. It cocks its head to the side. In so many years, the first to speak to me as an equal? Its mouth is motionless. The voice seems to call out from everywhere and nowhere at once, echoing and circling around me. What a delight. Tell me, do you wish to end the reign of terror in your little town? Its tone is cloying and Cheshire, maybe even a little impatient. Eventually, I nod uneasily. Yes, I would very much like that. The creature turns his snout and his eyes gleam. Wonderful. It's really very simple. You will take on a lot and I will be free to pass on. The casualness of this creature's words leave my neck hairs on end, and I fight hard to keep my chattering on to a minimum. What do you mean by your lot? And what do you mean by pass on? The creature paces in place, and a low cackle seems to echo from the floor. I'll answer you quickly, but then you must choose. For the first, you shall become like I am. You shall live in the darkness and hunger for the blood of your kind. I stare in a mild shock, waiting for it to continue. As for passing on, I am forced to live this way forever, and once you've taken my burden on, I will be granted the mercy of death. It's not exactly a win-win, more of a win-lose-neutral sort of situation. So, your decision? I feel like Clover is the type of person that would say yes. And even I, as if maybe trying to protect people from this situation, would probably say yes too. Just because maybe the person that's in this situation doesn't deserve to be this way. I don't know. I'm just too nice sometimes, I swear. I'm gonna accept. I put on the bravest face I can, though it feels lacking, and I extend a paw to the beast wordlessly. Contract. Okay, let's go get the last ending. I think we've gotten 3 already, so let's go get the last ending. So I believe that the last ending is going to end in Clover's demise. I'm not gonna take the knife this time, so just to see what happens. So this time I'm gonna fight I don't have a knife. I don't have the charm. I drop to the ground in a frantic search for a weapon. I grab the loose stone out of desperation and hurl it towards the monster. Somehow it makes contact and the beast twisted its head away, howling and pawing at the affected area. Before I could drop another, however, it is preparing to charge me again. In all the commotion, the movement, and the tussle, I find myself backing into a corner. The monster walks a half circle around me, glaring furiously with its gleaming eyes, its jaw dripping. It scrapes the ground with its claws and growls, but the movement from its leg is weak. It growls poorly concealed the whimper. Okay, so it's whimpering now. Now's my chance and possibly my only one. So, I'm gonna hit defend myself. Oh, this is gonna be so bad. The beast suddenly charges towards me and I lunge to the ground in reaction. I take hold of the loose rock and raise it in front of myself, but the creature dashes away easily and sends me stumbling to the ground. My head makes solid contact with something. A wooden support or a barrel or a mine cart. I don't have time to know what, and my ears ring. This is so bad. Even as I twist around to face the threat again, its sharpened claws dig into me and hurl me across the floor in a single impact. My discarded flashlight casts a dusty beam through the air from somewhere nearby. Even as I stare at the ceiling, even as my head aches, even as my vision fades, I try to raise my arm again to defend myself. But my shoulder crackles and a white spear of pain drives itself into my collarbone. I close my eyes. The ground gently thuds as the creature walks towards me. I can feel its breath on my face, stinking of iron and flesh. We already know what the smell of iron is. That's blood. It's over. The ground is cold, my body is spent, and my mind fragments and spirals off. And it's over. Demise. Oh, this is so sad. Well, I think those were all the endings, you guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna go check and see if ending one that I got was not the ending, and if so, I will play some more. But anyways, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I hope that the first ending that we got, the good ending that we got, was a little, you keep that memory and not the bad memory. Peace and love. Stay safe out there, everybody. Bye.